Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. It's time for more Dominions. Yeah, I'm a little obsessed with this game. I'll tell you right now, tell you right off the bat. Although at this point, whenever I upload this, it's probably already evident because I still have yet to upload the first video that I've recorded of this game. And this is now the 18th video I'm recording of the game. So, yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. So, previously we did sort of an evolution series where we looked at TNC from early age to middle age to late age. And it was fun. We had some fun times with it. But, you know, it's not a nation that really evolves super much. Especially from like early to middle. It didn't change a whole lot. From middle to late, it kind of like combined early and middle a little bit with a couple extra things. But mostly TNC didn't change a whole lot. So now we're going to look at a nation that changes quite a bit. And that's Ermor. So, just to get in here. So, early age Ermor, the new faith, the human empire. This is really like Holy Roman Empire kind of stuff. You can see they have a lot of like Roman gladiators with nets and stuff, and then sort of like Roman soldiers with tower shields and loricas and all that kind of stuff. They have standard bearers, cavalry. I mean, we'll be taking a closer look at all this in a second. But yeah, very Holy Roman Empire. But then in the Middle Ages, they're now the Ashen Empire. Entirely undead. Wailing ladies, unholy knights, hordes of the newly dead, death magic, reanimation, the whole 9 yards. So this is going to be drastically different once we go to Middle Ages. So at the very least, I want to do early age Ermor and middle age Ermor. But early age Ermor actually splits off a little bit to the Ashen Empire, but also there's sort of a like a splinter faction that decided, hey, you guys are doing bad shit. We don't want any part of that. So they became Scalaria, the Reformed Empire. And so they get a lot of that same stuff that early age Ermor has. So it might be interesting then to go to that after doing middle age Ermor to see what could have been. And then, if we wanted to go all the way late ages, there is Lemuria. And so this is what eventually becomes of Scalaria. And as you can see, they also succumb to very similar stuff. In a sense, it's basically like, you have early age Ermor, and then you either have the undead version or the not undead version. And that kind of is present in all the other ages. I don't know if there's really a sort of Roman Empire traditional one in late ages. I'm sure one of these is going to be somewhat themed off of that kind of idea. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole idea, I guess, is time sort of moves forward. Oh, there you go. Pythium gets the gladiators. And yeah, the sort of Roman-style soldiers. So, and what I was reading was Ermor was one of, like, the first nations developed for dominions way back when. And so a bunch of other factions have kind of been inspired, or their history and lore is heavily based around Ermor's presence and stuff. So that's why Pythium is kind of connected. Splinter Empire that broke free from Ermor when it fell. And we actually did play as these guys when I did my late age Pythium playthrough. which was one video. So that's sort of... So if you wanted, then, yeah, the kind of... What could have been... there is Pythium in the late age, just with a mix of serpents and hydras and stuff. Anyways, so, yeah, at the very least, I want to do early age Ermor, middle age Ermor, because that's going to be such a drastic difference. If we are enjoying the whole thing, we could check out middle age Scalaria to see what could have been. And then maybe Lemuria after that. But I'm worried Lemuria in late ages is going to be similar to middle age Ermor, but I don't know. All right, so for map, let's do Pelawir. Let's try that one. Okay, and so on and so forth. Early ages. And we are going to be doing Ermor New Faith. An empire centered around a great city. For centuries, it has grown and become more and more influential. Traders and travelers from near and far come to the city. By military campaigns, diplomacy, and trade, Ermor has become a power to be reckoned with. By adopting local traditions and beliefs, the Ermorians pose little threat to neighbors and conquered peoples, but this has begun to change. A new god is rising. Old syncretistic faiths and spirit worship were banned by a prophet dressed in white shrouds. The remnants of his body and shrouds are buried in the holy city of Eldergate, where the adherents of the new faith are awaiting the arrival of the reawakening god foreseen by the prophet. The all-encompassing old state cult of the Numinas still survives, but the pontifices and Flamen are slowly adopting the new faith. So yeah, this is sort of, you can obviously tell, like, the old Roman mythology sliding away and getting replaced with, you know, Christianity. That's obviously what the big inspiration was here. All right, so the race entirely of humans, even though that's not quite correct, because the military has human legionnaires and lizard auxiliaries. So for some reason, there are lizards. Just a very light touch of lizard in your Roman Empire. Magic: fire, death, astral, some water, earth, air, and nature. I feel like we haven't had strong fire in ages. Tianqi never had any fire. Their priests are powerful and can heal affliction, so that's good. They get order limit +1, which is good. So gold is going to be probably important to them, I would imagine. And they get advanced forts, starting with a fortified city. And they get Temple of the Shroud. 3 fire gem per turn, 3 astral pearl per turn. All right. Get a standard scout. They do get an assassin if we want to make some assassin work. So that's not a bad idea. And one thing that I have heard with assassins, an easy way to make them far more effective, is to give them an item that automatically summons something at the start of battle. Like, you can get an item that just summons a water elemental for you at the start of every battle. That makes assassins far more dangerous. Centurion is our standard, bog standard military leader. Nothing too crazy about that. They do have decent protection, especially on their head, but otherwise pretty standard. 100 leadership. The Legatus Legionis is a bit better. 150 leadership, pretty high. Still, you know, they're not given a horse for some reason, but sure. Yeah, okay. I mean, nothing crazy. It's not, you're not gonna thug them out or anything, but okay, it's fine. Then we get acolytes. The most basic of priests. Very cheap, but, you know, priest level 1. Sacred. Bishop of the Sacred Shroud. These are priest level 2. Sacred with recuperation, so they heal afflictions over time until they get old. And they're already 76, so they're pretty old. And they're also healers, which is great. Love that. So embedding bishops and stuff into every army is kind of nice. Augur is our most basic mage. Fire 1, Astral 1. Ooh, you already know what that means. Big old fire communions. Yes. The fireballs will fly, baby. That's pretty great. They also have 9 research ability and Fortune Teller 10. Not amazing or anything, but again, you know, since mages are going to be kind of embedded in your armies and things like that, it's nice to have. Augur Elder, so already old age, that's annoying. Fortune Teller. Fire 2, Astral 1, Death 2, and another Fire, Air, Astral, or Death, and 10% for another Fire, Air, Astral, Death. Means 1 out of every 10 will have perhaps level 3. No, I mean you could get 4 Death or 4 Fire. Or we could get a smattering of air in there, which is always kind of nice. For certain buffs, so we haven't seen, like, yeah, well, okay, yeah. So those are bigger mages, 17 research ability, quite a bit more costly, though. 4 recruitment points means generally 1 every 2 turns, 300 gold. So we're definitely going to have a lot more augurs for sure. Just because the communion potential is strongly there to just amass these guys. But these guys come with death 2 at the bare minimum. Possibly death 3 or 4. And that means horde of skeletons. And they can fucking commune. Which means that we can slap a bunch of augurs on them. In order to make some batteries. But since augurs don't have death, they will get a pretty heavy fatigue penalty for being in communion. So yeah, bottom line, we probably want a lot of both, really, for different purposes. Prefectus Equitum. All right, now this is a thug. This is a thug right here. Look at this. He's sacred, but he can also bless himself. That's phenomenal. He's got recuperation, which is phenomenal. 13 protection, 14 morale, blah, blah, blah. 18 defense, already out the gate. He's got a base of 12, plus 3 for being mounted. Good, good, good. The horse is also sacred. Is that common? Hold on. Are horses... you don't get any. Who else has fucking horses? No one has horses. These aren't horses. Okay, no other faction really gets horses. Here, chariot. Well, this is not... I gotta find a horse. Here, the Pegasus... Okay, the Pegasus is also sacred. Okay, maybe it is common that if the guy is... the guy is sacred, the mount is sacred. That could be. Okay, yeah, even the chariot there is sacred. Okay, well, okay, all right. Then it's not that special, but it's good. Right, so... The mount, you know, without barding is not super great for protection and defense and anything. But yes, we could make a decent thug out of this if we want to go for that kind of blessing. Archbishop of the Sacred Shroud, level 3 priest. Holy shit. That means that any of these guys can do the big AoE blessing. That's phenomenal. Recuperation, old age, and healer 1. I don't know why he has recuperation if he's already old. Unless it's just like... It's just the fact that he's an old bishop. And so he maintains recuperation even though it's not in effect anymore. I don't know. Flamen. Hold on. Can only be recruited in non-fort provinces. Interesting. So that means... Oh, so you'd have to have a lab and a temple without a fort, which makes it pretty vulnerable. But he's got Fire 1, Priest 1, and then a chance for Air, Water, Earth, Nature. So far, this is the only Water, Earth, Nature we've seen. Thankfully, it's a 100% chance to get one of those. And they're relatively cheap. Not super cheap, though, 185. They're also sacred, and they can do Grand Communions, which means that they can join together to combine their powers like Captain Planet to do global spells. Which we haven't really done much, and that's because it's kind of a later game thing, and we just don't get to that with our small settings. So I don't know how good the flame is going to be, but we are going to want to make them because we do want some earth and nature mixed in. And then Pontifex, Fire 1, Priest 2, Sacred Grand Communicants. Yeah. Probably not much of these guys, I would imagine. I don't know. As for units, we got the very basic Slinger. Now, the Sling is not great. Not great. They're not very accurate. They die pretty much to anything. They don't do a whole lot of damage with the Sling. Blah, blah, blah. But we do have a fuck ton of fire magic. And so you can put flaming arrows on these things. And, you know, if you get 500 Slingers and put flaming arrows on all their slings, you're going to probably kill some stuff, you know. And they are damn cheap. 7 gold, 2 resource, 3 recruitment points. You can pretty easily get 500 slingers. So that's a possible strategy that we could fuck around with. Because we can also throw around fire resistant buffs on like a thin front line to protect the slingers. A census gets spears and javelins. They're often placed in the rear where they're out of the way. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty damn cheap. Pretty damn cheap in every sense of the word. Okay. Retiarius. They get nets. It's a length 4, cannot be used for repelling, can be used once per battle. Damage net. Yes. Damage net. What does that mean? I assume it just is like earth meld or something, like you just can't move or attack. Until they break out of the net. So that's pretty useful. And they get a length 3 trident with 22 fucking damage. Holy shit. And they're pretty damn cheap. Dang. This might not be bad, especially in the early day. They're not super survivable or anything. They 12 protection, 12 defense is not going to help much. So if we get something better in an actual front line to just hold for a moment, and these guys come in with nets and their tridents and just slaughter, that's not bad. Gladiators. So they get flail, 18 damage. And these will attack twice, +2 versus shields. So 2 attacks is obviously pretty dangerous when you got a line of gladiators. It's only length 2. In the early game, you know, a lot of independents, a lot of enemies, militia, light infantry, all that, they have mostly spears. So you do kind of lose out on that. But against heavy infantry, these guys will do pretty nicely. I mean, they're still going to die. It's hard for them not to die. But also, again, pretty cheap. Levy. Similar to the other one. Spears, javelins. They do get shields to bump their defense to 13. Which is fine. I mean, you know, defense of 13 is fine. It's a protection 16 shield. It wouldn't be the worst front line I've ever seen, but we probably can do better. Roraris. That is definitely a bit better. 14 defense, 11 protection. Still, well, you're getting up there in price a little bit. And the damage there is not phenomenal or anything like that. It's hard to say, to be honest, if that is better. 1 extra defense. I mean, it does matter. And the fact they have 4 extra protection definitely does matter. I would say they are better. But you are spending 5 extra resources per guy. And 1 less recruitment point. Huh. Lizard Auxiliaire. So also has Javelin. Also gets a shield. 14 defense. 14 protection. I assume it's because of natural protection thrown in there. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So there is a formula, by the way, for natural protection. It's not just additive. Basically, it's your armor protection multiplied by your natural protection and then divided by 40 is, I think, the formula. So there are diminishing returns just stacking both types on one unit. So that means their total protection for their head is 21, body 12. So 12 protection on their body is not mind-blowing, all things considered. But they do have the shield, so that helps. 12, huh? Whereas if we go to, yeah, so this, he's got 10 on his body. We go step up here to Hastatus, basic unit of the Ermorian army. So they're also at 10 protection. 15 defense, though, with the shield, which is pretty nice. You're starting to, because, you know, standard, again, at standard attack is 10. And I can go in and look at, there is a big chart for the DRN and everything. So the difference there, if you're a attack 10 going up against defense 15, the attacker on average has a 14% chance to hit. That's pretty significant. If they have attack skill 12, which is pretty decent, you know, then they have a 24% chance to hit. Right? So 15 defense is not to be snuffed at. And then I believe, you know, if now granted, their value without the parry is 8, which means they have a 62% chance to hit our shield at least. And then the damage is going to be subtracted from 16 protection for the shield. And then if it gets past that, then I think it has to go through our armor or something like that. I'm not sure how it all works. I could actually delve further into that. But 15 defense is very solid. So there's some good aspects of that. But their general protection, not super high. Their morale, not super great. Their damage, not super great. 15 is decent. I mean, it's decent, I guess, for a frontliner. But short sword length 1, you know, you rather have a tower shield with a spear. Principe. Pretty similar. They do get a bit better protection now. So total protection body 12. 16 defense. I mean, you're really getting into some pretty high numbers for some frontliners. 16 resources. 15 damage on their short sword with attack of 12 is not bad. Still length 1, but they depend mostly on their big ass shield. Not bad. Yeah, for only 2 extra resources, 3 extra gold, 8 more recruitment points, but still, I'm tempted just to go with Principes. But then you get Triarius. Here you go. Oh. So the problem is right out the gate, they're old. They start at 55 years old. They already are coming in with penalties, and they're just going to be getting more penalties. But to balance that out, you know, they get 18 protection on head and body. Phenomenal. 13 morale. 13 defense. They're slow as utter fuck. But they do have Formation Fighter 2. So if you just have these guys, you can fit 4 of them in a square, which is very nice. That means one guy comes in, he swings once at one of them, and then in return, you know, he gets 4 long spears in his face. Powerful stuff. But high resource cost at 28, high recruitment point 25, and the fact that they're old age. It's going to be definitely not at the start of the game for sure, but maybe we'll put some of those in. Standard bearer. Okay. So they are, I mean, 15 defense, 11 protection, which puts them online with the Hestatus, except they get a standard, which increases all the units in the same squad will have their morale increased by 1. Which, you know, that's always good, especially when we're throwing around death spells and stuff that cause fear. Equite. Standard sort of medium cavalry, I think. 13 protection, 16 defense. They do get a light lance, which they can use once. They get a big charge bonus. And then they got their broadsword, 16 damage. Yeah, but 29 resources is pretty hefty for something that's not really gonna wow me. And Equite of the Sacred Shroud. Sacred, oh. And we're gonna have priests that can just, I mean, I feel like I could have a military of just these guys. But you can only recruit so many because of the holy point situation. So, but yeah, I mean, outside of the Sacred, 13 protection, 12 magic resistance, 13 morale, 18 defense, 23 combat speed, 14 damage, not counting the charge bonus, I believe. And I believe that doesn't count the charge bonus, which there's another formula for that, but it's a pretty hefty charge bonus. Pretty much anything you actually hit with that first shot will die, assuming you hit. And then they have broadsword. It's all right. As far as length 1, but 17 damage, slashing, 13 attack means basically fucking anything in the early game will die to these guys. Not even counting their bless. Very nice. And the Warhorse, only 10 protection, 10 defense. There is some other formula, I think, for whether attack hits the horse versus hitting the rider, but yeah, getting a sacred buff that will increase their survivability is not shabby. All right, that's everything. We're definitely going with Ermor, New Faith. We're going to stick with difficult because I lost my last game on difficult, so I'm going to stick with that. And now our form. Okay, decent selection. Decent selection. As usual, we like to look at discounted stuff. The Statue of War. I feel like that's sort of the, you know, the Colossus of Rhodes kind of thing. I could see that working. But, let's see. It's got a Turmoil Scale limit +1, which is going to cancel out our Order limit increase +1. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that doesn't help us. Fire Mage 2, Earth 1. Yeah, I mean, as for that by itself, I mean, having Earth and not having to buy into it is pretty nice. Having Fire is okay. We could dip into Astral a little bit, so he could be part of the Fire Communions. Which is not bad. His new Magic Pass cost 40. He costs 160, so our costs would be reasonably low, I think. He's an Amphibian. He's Slash resistant, Pierce resistant, Poison resistant. He's inanimate. Doesn't need to eat, blind, spirit sight. He's an inept smith, which is a kind of a bummer considering he would be our major earth presence. So that's sort of the big downside that I see. He's an innate spellcaster, which means that he can he casts all spells at the same rate. And but he can't be a communion slave of any kind. He can lead a communion, but it's very taxing for the slaves. Okay, yeah. But he has a monster summoner. Chance of summoning one or more monsters per month. Barbarian warriors. Okay, interesting. What else is discounted? Wish there was just a filter for that. The Titan of Love. Yeah, I bet. Growth scale +1 is nice. Water, nature, glamour. Water and nature, having that mixed in there is kind of nice. Awe 5. Supply bonus 10, reduce on rest 10. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm overwhelmed. It's a solid enough pick. There's definitely some good blesses to be had in this, such as quickness and things like that. So, but we wouldn't go into Earth at all, and it kind of will be nice to have a big Earth mage to just crank out like Earth boots or something for anyone that does get Earth 1. That would be pretty handy. I'm surprised this one's not discounted for us, I gotta say. Feels pretty on point. And it's got air, earth, astral with order. Well, the order... The fact that the order scale limit doesn't stack with ours means that this should be discounted. We should get a discount on that shit. Pay for that. The Divine Emperor. He's the son of the previous Emperor. He's got also the Order +1 and just Astral, but new magic paths cost 10. He's a Dominion 2 guy that's basically a Dominion 1 guy. So there's that. But, again, we wouldn't benefit from the Order scale. Not that that's or like a deal breaker or anything, but... Not a whole lot of discounts, I gotta say. Okay. So then, do we want to take something that's not discounted? Do we want to just pick something that's maybe kind of thematic? I guess we have to decide more specifically, before we really pick a specific chassis, we have to decide kind of what we're interested in. Do I want to go for another, like, early expander, an awake expander? Or do I value scales more on this one? Let's go back to this. Let's say, I'm mostly interested in Principes. 14 gold, 16 resources is not super intensive. And as much as I want to shit out billions of these guys, I can't. So the resource cost is not really prohibitive. So I don't know if gold is that big of a factor. However, gold is a bigger factor for our army of mages, of which we're going to want a bunch of these. So that is a decently hefty gold cost if I want to have just a lab and a temple in like 5 different provinces, all cranking out like flamens, for example. 185 gold each. So I don't think we need to go overboard with scales. But we do want some of them. Like, if I was just going to hazard a thought, that probably would be a bit too high. That's probably more than I need, but I do like my scales. So something like that would be reasonable. So honestly, I don't know if it even matters if there is a negative on the... like a turmoil scale limit, or if I get an extra order scale limit. It's not really going to change much. So then really, it's, do I want an Awakened Expander? Or do I want a really hefty Bless? The thing is, if I want, like, the bestest of Blesses, usually that comes from an Incarnate Bless, which means that they do have to be around. So then that means that we'll want one that probably has a relatively cheap cost and has the magic paths that I'm most interested in getting, which I would say is definitely Earth. And in an ideal world, Astral and Fire. I don't think there's a single one that's going to have all those ready to go. So we're probably going to have to pick one there with relatively cheap paths. Well, the Titan of War and Wisdom does have Earth, Astral, and Air, which I think has its own pretty good benefits for us. Or The Statue of Order also has Earth and double Astral, but has innate Spellcaster, which doesn't help with that. And I think this one... No, this one didn't. That's a Titan... No. No. Which one? The Titan of War and Wisdom. So yeah, this could be something we could do. And I feel like, you know, when I see it, it's like, how is this? This is EA Ermor right there. That's their god. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. And I think, honestly, she could expand. Maybe not right at the start of the game. She doesn't really have the tools necessary at the immediate beginning to turn 1 kind of thing. Because she's got 17 protection, 18 defense, which is pretty good. And she has a Fear Aura. But she doesn't have any extra layers of protection beyond that, you know. She only has 85 hit points. She's got no rejuvenation, no, you know, any ethereal buffs or anything like that. So, I'd be pretty fucking iffy to send her out turn 1, sight unseen. But as soon as I get to, like, turn 2, well, technically, I guess, she would have our first research going in to her first battle if I was that crazy. But I don't think that's really necessary against difficult AI. Okay, so that means that I think we're going to dial back scales a bit here. We really don't need much of anything. And we definitely want to get a good amount of Earth. Something like that. But that doesn't really get us any of the great buffs, unfortunately. So we may have to dip into some negatives here. Like a little bit of cold preference. I hate drain, but it's not the end of the world. I could drop the productivity as well, so we'd be at 124. And then, so what actual one would be best? Considering the mounts are kind of weak. I mean, Etherealness is amazing, right? They just 75% chance to negate any mundane damage. It is phenomenal to always have on there. But, you know, it's pretty easy for us to cast that with all our arcane mages compared to just grabbing hard skin plus 5 natural protection. But that doesn't... And, you know, I don't know. Problem is we'd have to go to Astral 8 and get Magic 2, which means we gotta suffer elsewhere. That's a lot of points. Yeah, that's far more than we can afford as an Awake one. So going up to Earth 6 just to grab hard skin. Or, I mean, you could go one step further and go to Fortitude, which is half damage from all pierce / blunt weapons. That's pretty great, too. Also, getting Arcane or Astral 5 to get magic weapons would be pretty fucking good. Hair 2 is not phenomenal, but yeah, magic weapons. I don't think I can swing both of those. Not without taking another dip on something. You know I hate misfortune. Fuck. Fuck, fuck. Well, I guess I can just take a hard skin. But although it's not really good, it's not really smart for my guys, which are already heavily armored, you know? It's not really a viable buff due to the heavily diminishing returns. Fuck! There's too many choices, man. There's too many choices. How much do I care about magic weapons, I suppose? So we could grab Undead Command, which would make it so that all our sacred commanders could command undead units, which we will be kind of perhaps interested in summoning through rituals. But I don't know if that's I don't know if that's worth going into. And I like the idea of her not being related to death at all. Like, she represents all the traditional Ermor values and not this their new interest in death magic, and that's why she's going away after this era. Let me just Google something. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we want to grab any new paths. It's just kind of too expensive. So we're looking at mostly what we have on offer here, rather than getting really complicated. I mean, there are definitely better other buffs, other blesses in different paths. Since I'm not going to have many of the sacred units at the start, and I'm not going to send her out on her own, there is an argument to put her at dormant and get a shit ton more points, and then go magic 2, crank up astral, crank down earth, and get etherealness, astral 8. I think that's not the worst decision I could ever make, because etherealness is just so good. And all our mages, like all our priests will have it as well. Yeah, and we still get 4 earth in there. We got 3 blessed points left, so I could just grab strength of the earth, probably. Just a little extra damage, and Arcane Command just for some fun additional stuff. Actually, because none of our mages are sacred, so yeah, there's not really much. The only ones are the Flamens, but they have Fire 1, maybe Fire 2. They're not really going to be casting big spells, so precision shit doesn't really affect anything. So yeah, I think that's it. We're going to go with a dormant one. It's only like 10, 12 turns. It's not that big of a deal. Our scales are pretty shit. Scales are pretty shit. If I wanted to take a negative in something else to get a positive somewhere else, oh, I could take Dominion 4. That would have been dumb to leave that on the table. All right, that's what we're doing. Athena! All praise Athena. Fucking random events. I don't know. I mean, I like when they're good, I guess. I don't like when they're bad. I'd probably leave them on common. Fine. And I like the story events. So those are kind of fun and interesting. I have heard the argument for playing against AI to leave it at weak. Because then AI will suddenly attack you, and it's not just like this big lead up. But I know that if I do that, I'm going to get really pissed at AI for betraying me, and I will never betray them. And so I like the 3-month thing. It's just fair and balanced. And we're doing our usual victory point setup. Again, I think it's generally a good length, unless I happen to start next to like all the thrones. Okay. That took 47 minutes. It took a little bit longer, but... Alright. We do start next to one throne. Thankfully, it's in the waste, which means it's not really that valuable to me anyways. That helps a lot. We are also next to a sea, so that's a bit of a bummer of cutting off our value, but Perenna has a farmland and river right here. Great. Plains and river, plains and river, plains. And right here is another sort of farmland region. So that's going to be our main first goal once we get our cap. Also, there's this one, which is probably pretty decent. Okay, well, let's have you bounce on over to this one so we can get info on that. So we want to think about our early expansion. What is the best troop setup that we can build reasonably well in order to get our circle? I think relying on slingers right now is kind of a waste, so we're going to skip on that. I think we're probably looking at perhaps a status. 15 defense is decent, but Principes have 16. If I just want a Principes, I could build, yeah, like 7 or 8 per round right now. And the thing is, like, if you have high quality troops in the very early stage against early independence, it's pretty easy to stomp them due to the way that all the average numbers work. Not many, but the general guideline that I've heard is with good quality troops, you can send in half the number they have and win. So I think for this turn, I'm just going to be doing this, but we also want to start getting out mages, of course, as always. So our basic bitch research fodder is, I believe, the augur. Yep, and we do want a lot of these. And 90 gold, so not the cheapest thing in the history of the planet, but I think that's fine. Yeah, we are leaving holy points there, which, yeah, I mean, I could be making some of these guys, but 29, so I could get practically 2 Principes for one of these. We do have a fucking insane blessing, though. Honestly, maybe I could just build these guys. I could get 4 of those. Easy. And 4 of those with Ethereal. Probably can win against the easiest independent already. We have Dentatus as a Centurion. Really shit. Really shit. But if I only care about Sacred Units at the moment, I could make him the Prophet so that he could easily bless them. But then again, we do want this guy. Yeah. Alright. We'll go with that just to ensure we'll make him our prophet. So, and Dentatus is just going to be patrolling. Okay, as for our first school, so now we get to talk about magic. So, Enchantment 5 gives us Hordes of Skeleton, which is generally going to be our best death spell that we get to just spam. Because we can get, 8 of those mages in a battle, just all spamming Hordes of Skeleton again and again as much as they can. So that's Enchantment 5. Pretty damn good. I would say that's a big thing. If we wanted to go into worrying about fire, we could get flaming arrows if we wanted to amass slingers. That is an option. But if we wanted to just be more blasty, obviously that's going to be evocation. And that allows us to get fun stuff like fireball, which is, it's a classic for sure. Hidden Flame, 3 fire, 1 arcane spell. Only affects magic beings. Interesting. But the AoE affects anything. Armor negates. Or negates armor, magic resistance negates it. It's like 1 damage. But otherwise, Falling Fire is a classic. It's inaccurate as hell. But it is a classic. So getting into the high-end thing, that's going to be Evocation 5. Flame Eruption. Short range. Firestorm. Continuously target the battle with 6 AP fire damage. That is phenomenal. Good God. Takes 3 fire gems, sure. But the real kicker is, can we protect our guys from fire? Takes water to cast resist fire. So, yeah. That one's going to be a little tricky, I think, without a very specific and lucky mess of flamens. Flamens. That would be fire-resistant warriors, but it's just so unreliable. So more likely is you'd want to do maybe like a thug group. Just like a handful of mages that can cast... They can like probably wear fire-resistant gear and then throw out whatever that was, incinerator, whatever it is. Firestorm, that's what it was. So that's an option, to have just a small pack of mages wearing proper gear and just so on and so forth. Pillar of Fire at level 8 is great. Yeah, that's pretty fun. So I'd say enchantment is a strong contender for something we're interested in. But there's just so many options. Do I have any, like, interesting nationals? Contact Lar. Lars are rural spirits and household gods. If treated well, they bring prosperity to the farm where they dwell. I believe I heard about this. They're really good nature mages. So if we wanted a higher end nature option, that is something we could get. But that depends on if I get a bunch of nature gems, you know? Alright, well, I lean towards enchantment to start with then, because we do get some buffs. We get a smattering of buffs. And mostly, and most important, we get the Horde of Skeletons. I could see just bum rushing enchantment 5 and thaumaturgy and then like evocation. Okay, I think we're probably done. Oh, we're fighting against Tianchi and Muspelheim. All right, Timeless Waste. Look at that. That's the easiest thing I've ever seen. Oh, man, we're going to get this thrown real fast. Also, we are 2 steps away from Oceania's capital. Great. Can't say I'm too pleased about that. Because that's going to be damn hard for me to actually wipe out outside of just Dom killing them. But that means we do need to keep our Dom spread up. Which means we definitely probably want to make our... Yeah, there you go. Become Prophet right away. And I think we need to start making some Acolytes. Or should I just go for Bishops? Having priest level 2 is pretty great. Because that means that with a temple on their tile, they can preach up to level 5, Dominion Strength 5. Whereas these guys would only be able to do 3. So, yeah. Tempted to just start building that. Alright, so we are low on our holy points. So let's spend our resources, I guess, on the Principes. And amass some funds. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to get this really fast. Yeah, there's not a lot of units here. I don't know why this was such a low roll throne, but also there's cavemen here, even though there's no cave. I don't know how that happens. Cavemen are pretty dangerous. They're like barbarians. They hit very fucking hard. So there's that. But you know, they have a 75% chance to just miss my sacred units, so that's pretty good. Right. Is 6 enough? Keep in mind, all they really have is like a big benefit is just 75% chance for attacks to miss, which is pretty powerful. I don't think I have really many other buffs beyond that outside of Sermon of Courage for an extra morale, but that doesn't really help much. There is Holy Avenger I could put on him if I want him to be in the front line, but I don't really want him to be in the front line. So really just maybe to see. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the throne. I could go in with my full army, though. to be fair. I could go in with the full army. But I got 42. I probably could take Urfel. Yeah, I think I could take Urfel. Okay. So they're going to hold and attack closest enemy. In a box formation? No, we want max contact. Just going a bit of a line. Alright, fuck it. We're finding out. I could save scum this decision just to see how dumb I actually am. Alright. We'll set up a save scum. Hopefully I don't need it. Hopefully I don't need it. But I'm gonna send him into Urfel. We're going there. We're gonna save game and quit. I'm gonna copy over this shit. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. This is number 6 now. Oh no, I named it something ridiculous. No, never mind. I named it whatever. Damn, this is supposed to be number 7 and I didn't name it properly. Fuck. Okay. Continue. Okay. And you head over here. And research still good. Go. Alright, let's see if we got a scum. Let's just watch Timeless Ways for. This is for the throne. This is the Sacreds. Alright, so now they're all blessed. Oh, fuck. That's right. We don't have Ethereal because it's not the god's not there. Well, see, that's why we scum. So can they do it with basically just +1 strength, +1 morale kind of thing? How good actually are sacred cavalry? Well, the answer, as you possibly suspected, is pretty fucking good. Jesus Christ. I mean, they took some damage in there. Some fatigue loss. Obviously, if they had Ethereal, that would have prevented everything. But, yeah. Otherwise, one of them lost a horse, and otherwise, victory. Great. Easiest throne I've ever taken. And then the battle in Urfel. So my Principes fell right behind. These guys are going for the rear. So they're charging into the archer line. Yeah, again, superior troops, man. It's a pretty big factor in Dominions, I think. When you're just doing, like, skirmishes, infantry v infantry, things like that. Quality can often be quantity. I don't know if that was the best setup. Maybe I should have had them use their javelins as support. Unrest increase and timeless waste. Yeah, maybe I should have them use their javelins, because I think how it works is they will... So they'll fire, they'll advance, they'll hold 2 turns, advance till they get close enough to fire, then they'll fire until they either run out of ammunition or their first selected squad targeted is, like, no longer valid. And then they'll basically go off script, and then they'll just do, you know, kind of whatever. So then they'll go into melee. Or if they run out of ammunition, you know, they'll go into melee. So probably it's worth it to do that. But also we want more troops. Okay. Well, you can immediately, of course, take the Throne of Ascension, the Throne of the Stars, produce 2 astral per turn, astral pearls, and boost astral ritual range by 2 provinces. Okay. Mostly we care about Dominion spread. We want to quash Oceania real fast, like. No, don't demolish the fort. Okay, just preach. Oh, I already have a temple there, that's right. Okay. Okay. So we won decently enough there, but I want more troops than that, so we're going to go back to Ermor for now. And we want to make sure... Yeah, so the Principes are slow. Slow. But we eventually want that to be kind of our front line. So we're going to just keep recruiting them. Yeah, these bishops are going to slow down my research pretty massively until I get a lab in one of these other spots. And I probably should make a commander here. He can build a fort. You know, you always want a fort on your thrones, if possible. Claim the Throne of the Stars in the name of Athena, Princess of Mountains, the Far Traveler. And we cured a battle affliction. You love that. Cavemen, little trickier. They definitely can kill my guys. I mean, they're gonna catch a few lances, and I'll definitely kill a few cavemen, but I don't think that's a winning proposition compared to going through Scantras to fight a bunch of Jaguar Tribe slingers and warriors. It is a lot, though, and I know we won that first one, and that was kind of, like, surprising, but I'm a little iffier going past that. So let's go back, because we should have more guys. We're trying to burn some turns until we get Athena here. Alright, you're going to have to make a third squad. Because these guys are going to have to be the tip of the spear kind of thing. They're quite a bit... not that slow. Not that slow. Ugh. But these are 11s, so... Okay. Alright, yeah. Heavy infantry, a little scarier. But, you know, gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. As for here, I think you're just on patrol. Until you can afford to build a fort. Well, let's not look at the stats yet. Let's keep it exciting. Keep the tension high. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. The Principes, they don't get fucked. They do the fucking. Nice, nice, nice. Pretty handily handled their infantry and shrug off all these weak little piss arrows. No problem. Yeah, I mean, overall, no problem. We did lose 1 Hastatus and 5 of the levies. But, yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good. I want more of the Principes, but not bad. We killed 46 of them. Unrest continues to increase in Timeless Waste. And misfortunes. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse here. A little overwhelmed. Can I afford that fort? Yes. It's unfortunate waste of money at the moment, but the one thing I can abide is Oceania just stepping in and taking it, which he very well might at this moment. He does have his Ghost King ready to go, his Pretender. So, you know, that could happen. That wouldn't be pleasant. Alright, we're gonna go take Perenna, which has 30 heavy infantry and slingers. Shouldn't be too bad. And we do want to continue to recruit mages. Keep that going. And these guys, of which I can't afford. Yeah, go here. Get to preaching. And you go here to get to preaching. And then you guys are gonna go take Midria. Hey, another throne. I'm just so nervous it's all gonna go wrong. I just want to not look at the stats. Boom. Yeah, that's not as quick as you'd like to see. A lot of horses died. Like I said, the horses are not super defensible. They're just wearing kind of... These are almost medium cavalry, you know, not heavy. That didn't go super well. We lost 3 of the equites, 6 of their mounts. But it was 30 heavy infantry. I mean, that was not a light battle. I went in massively outnumbered, so I got 42 kills. I mean, how upset can I really be? Relatively cheap investment. And then the battle in Midria. I can't imagine this will go too badly. I think there were losses. Yeah. 3 Hestatus, 2 levies. Still no Principes have died under my command. Definitely our go-to troops. So we're just kind of killing off all these other ones. 5 riders without mounts made their way back home again. Good. Alright, you guys are going to go straight on to Green Harbor, and we're going to build a fort there for a big income. Relatively big income. I don't know. You will preach. You will preach. I'm not building temples just yet. Just want to keep the Dominion strength strong. It is tough for me to break my Dominion onto the water, and it's tough for him to break onto the land. Due to the way that the random sort of spread chances work. It's far more likely it'll spread on land rather than water. But eventually, I just can't really see his Dominion too much. Also, there's Pelagia there as well. Fucking hell. Hopefully they just kind of fuck with each other and not me, but I don't like the... I already has 120 Tritons and soldiers, and Jesus, man. I don't know where they get all this money all the time. It's crazy to me. They never have good scales either. Look at his shit-ass scales. Turmoil, 2 sloth, cold, 2 death, 2 misfortune. I hate it. I hate it. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, you took that. I think we should head back home after that one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Triarius would be even better in the short term. But the old age just really bothers me, and I am not crazy about it. These guys are, well, they're not young, but they're capable. Could start building some standard bearers as well to introduce that. And also we could start making some of the Retiariuses. They're really fucking cheap. And those nets and the tridents as a flank thing would be pretty slick, I gotta say. So let's go with maybe 7 of those. Yeah, these guys have the potential to just destroy my gold supply. They are 10 each compared to 14 for the Principe. So Principe is far better pound for pound. But these guys do serve a purpose. Far more damage. I mean, these guys 15 compared to 22. That's a big difference. And 1 standard barrier. Alright. Okay, this one. 330. Fire Snake, Will-O-Wisp, Horned Serpent, Scorpion, Beasts, and Heavy Infantries, and a huge Solar Serpent. This is going to be a 3 right here. So we got a 1. Haven't scouted out anyone else, but there's a 3 here, so means all I gotta find is a 2, and there you go. Everything you need. I don't know, I just like to watch them. I just like to watch my Roman soldiers kick ass. It's like I'm not even playing a fantasy game right now. Playing Rome Total War. Water elementals is a bit of a hiccup there. Okay, did not expect that. But the Principes stand supreme nonetheless. That was a little scary. Where the fuck did a water elemental come from? So yeah, we did lose 3 Principes there because there was an Azure Mage thrown in. Okay. Dentatus has become a famous hero now. Good. He's earned his relief. Increased magic resistance. Yes, now you may just build a palisade. Okay, yeah, so Pelagia seems like it's going to be a bit of a thorn in Oceania's side. we could see the downfall of Oceania already. I'm pretty certain Tritons can go on land, but what is it? It was just Triton... Turtle Tribe Titans. They are aquatic, so no, those can't go on land. So he does not have an army built to be amphibious, which is good. It's all good. Alfra can definitely go on land. I remember that when I played as them. I don't know what algae men are, though. What the fuck is an algae man? It is amphibious. So Oceania, if he was insane, could attack the throne this turn with his Ghost King. Never trust AI to make rational decisions. I could throw a non-aggression pacts on both of these, really. Just to be like, hey, I ain't going in the water, you don't come on land, where everyone's happy, right? There you go. Don't tread on me. Alright, I think we're gonna leave Augeas here now until we get Athena out. There's no point. I mean, there is a couple things I guess I could take on this, probably. And then yeah, okay, fine. I spoke too soon. Research is still going very slow. We're about to get enchantment 3. Oh, so there is a fire version of a fire resistance. There you go. Lesser Flame Ward, which means there must be a Flame Ward. 20. Perfect. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Well, then that's simple. Is there even a bigger version? There's also Heat from Hell. Heat clouds appear all over the battlefield. That's fun. Hail of Burning Embers. The entire battlefield. Oh, all arrows of all friendly archers get extra fire damage. Yeah, Fire Fend. Your whole army gets +5 fire resistance. So you got one guy throwing out Fire Fend, one guy throwing out Hail of Burning Embers, and then another guy throwing out, like, maybe not Heat from Hell, but Firestorm. 6 armor piercing fire damage, though. It's armor piercing, not armor negating, though. But still, I don't know if 5 fire resistance is really enough for my army to survive. It seems a little hefty. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that further as to the exact mechanics of what I want to go with. Yes. We lost one of our Ekate because there was another fucking mage mixed in there, which is annoying. But otherwise, perfectly fine. In Perenna, we got some gold, a smattering of gems. Green Harbor, we got gold. Urful, tax -50%, income -5. That's no good. Now, ordinarily, I would say Blue Coast would be a good choice for a fort. But Kark is a very nice bottleneck. If any enemy wants to come in through this way towards my thrones and my capital and stuff, they'd have to take this fort. Whereas if it's in Blue Coast, they can walk right by it, you know? So, that's sometimes it's worth giving up a bit of income just for, although this is connected to 2 mountains and stuff. It's probably big resources. Hard to say. Honestly, it might be worth it to just build a fort at both. But I digress for the moment. We're thinking too far ahead. Well, we found Muspelheim. They don't seem friendly. Also, I see Pelagia has gone on land here. Good thing I got this first. Alright, now this is 60 militia, light cav, and heavy cav. That one is a little iffy on my part. So let's go just nestle ourselves in Green Harbor for the moment. Two months left on that thing. I think we do pretty well against Kark, Long Deads, and Ghouls with my profit there to just spam some bullshit. Not a bad idea, but he might refuse my non-aggression and attack Green Harbor right now. So we'll wait a moment on that. We got some time. We got the time. Okay. Could start getting some Augur Elders, but probably hold off because they're They're old. And the main reason I want them is because they have death too. Which is going to be pretty good for combat. But as far as research is concerned, they do 19, but 2 of these guys do 22. And it takes 2 turns to get one of these. So research is concerned, augurs are just better. So we'll wait. We'll wait. Could bid on Bullwreck City Guard, 100 militia. I could do some stuff with that. Do you lose your bid if you don't win? Am I throwing money away? I can't believe the whole wiki page on mercenaries doesn't say that. And here we go. If you don't get the mercs, you don't pay for them. Done. All right, well then fuck it. I want to throw some money into the pond. Do it. Since I don't have any other standing army at the moment. Okay, Pelagia returned our head, so that's great. But Oceania accepted, of course they did. They're in a pretty shitty... Oh, my augur foresaw a great disaster and proper measures were taken to halt the unfortunate chain of events. We also saw a death match coming. Yeah, that's the nice thing about having all these fortune tellers in my capital. It stops some bad things from happening at the main site. Me likey that. Damn, preaching my ass off here, man. Preaching my ass off here, and it's still just clinging on. Is oh, I'm being oppressed. I'm being oppressed. Well, he vacated. I don't know why this is empty. But I guess I'll take it if it's just empty. Why would I not be able to see troops that are next to me? I'm just gonna take it. Oh, look at this big bastard, man. Mooseful giants. Ooh. Well, now I'm rooting for Oceania, I guess. Not to take my shit. Why are you going on land, bro? You got problems here. Deal with this stuff. Don't come by me. You got bigger fish to fry. And I didn't get that fucking mercenary bid? Mictlan. Okay, well, I could get raiders, or I could get war shamblers. Okay, I'll bid 300 for both. Very unlikely for me to get both, which I don't want. And reasonably unlikely for me to get either one. Yeah, I didn't get either one. Battle in Fam. It was not empty. There were illusionists there with all illusionary bullshit. So I lost all of my equites, but I managed to lose. Yeah, I managed to lose. Well, that sucked. I didn't lose my profit, though, thank God. But, okay. Now, see, again, you would have no way of knowing that. You would have no fucking way of knowing that when you're just starting to play the game and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, once you have 1,000 hours, it's like, oh, well, obviously, we all know why that's an empty thing, because there's fucking illusionary warriors there. There could be 1,000 of them, so maybe you should watch out. Okay, head back home. I have more sacred units, and we should be getting Athena like any turn now. So there's that. And we got the Palisade and the Timeless Waste. We're gonna go ahead and bump it up to a fortress, because why not? I'm also just gonna have you construct the temple here. If my income were more satisfying, I would send a mage out to start building temples, but I will take the time to send one guy to go auto search. And once we get Athena here, she will be auto searching this whole area. Auto search is not the most efficient way to do it, really, because not all provinces are equal. You can see here Waste has many more magic sites, so that's far more valuable for your searches. Compared to Farmland and River, fewer magic sites. Plain and River doesn't even mention it, so I assume that's like an equal chance. Or maybe no magic sites, I don't know. Fewer magic sites. So this one we definitely want to get eyes on, so why don't you just go there first? Start getting our income. I probably should have sent one out a bit sooner, but I'm dumb like that. Alright. Sure. Dormant Pretender Gods are awakening, just not ours, I guess. Death Gem in Perenna. Okay. 15. We can just get fucking our deity. We can just get our deity. It'll all be good. I will say, there isn't a strong argument. Obviously, it's a bit late. There's a strong argument to have made, say, an Augur Elder into our prophet. Because then he could actually throw some buffs onto them as well. Before they, like, I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal, but he could throw out Twist Fate or whatever it is, or Cheat Luck, or nah, one of those is Glamour, I think. Or some fire stuff. I don't know, you could do something. But what we could do, we are getting up there in gems, especially astral gems. We could empower Augeas to actually give him a bit of magic. So we could already give him Astral 1 if we wanted. If we wanted to go that route. But what would perhaps be... Well, no. Really, we probably just want to forge Augeas some gear. Because if we give him like a Mace of Eruption and a charcoal shield or something... you know, he'll be able to tear it up pretty nicely. I just have him in the back right now because I don't want him to die. Along with, you know, because we're making a lot of foolish mistakes. But... yeah, we'll get him some gear eventually. Hey, check out the hole. Alright, you're just going to wait. Well, go to Urfel for the moment. Alright. See, you found Sunridge and Maze in Timeless Waste, and he's only level 1 Fire, level 1 Astral. So you can imagine what Athena will find. Or once we get other mages, they can all go check it out. Muspelheim is a prophet. There's Unrest in Newland. Dominion -3 in Green Harbor. Upcoming arena battle. And we finished the Palisade in Green Harbor. Yeah, honestly, I don't trust any of these fucks. Especially Pelagia. So we're going to upgrade that to a fortress right away. I do want to take Fahm, though. So we could take the time to do that. I got no units. Never mind. Just build the fort. Still don't have Athena. It's really We got a slow roll on Athena, it seems. Alright, now you basically be on auto search. Alright, Athena's here. That's good. Tracks on the shore reveal that groups of creatures emerge from the sea at nighttime and roam the coast, probably returning at dawn. A patrolling force may be able to intercept them in Newland. And we found 5 nature gems in Ermor. Looks like Pelagia won. Yep. So Pelagia won the arena. And we got the fortress in Timeless Waste. Good. Oceana got a nice, decent army there. And those are all amphibious. So he could be going on land, but I would really hope he's dealing with Pelagia. That's my biggest hope. Alright, so Athena. Yes, 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 yes. Like I said, Athena can probably solo some shit. Not that I am going to have her do that. But let's see. As far as personal buffs she can cast, personal flight. Astral shield. That seems pretty insane for her, right? So anyone trying to strike through the shield will have their mind blasted unconscious by the force of the shield. Magic resistance may negate the effect of the shield and allow enemies to strike the mage. Power of the astral shield is greater for mages who are highly skilled in astral magic. So his strength is 12 plus her level, which is 8. So it's got a strength of 20. It's reduced by weapon length. So say they come with spears, it's 17. But then it's against magic resistance. So they would have, on average 10. So 10 versus 17. Which means that with the DRN, that means they have an 8.2% chance to not be paralyzed. And then they have to deal with the fact that she's ethereal. And she has an enchanted spear and an owl. She's Athena. This might be another one where I want to just save Scum and just see how she does, because I feel pretty confident. Alright, let me save Scum again. Okay. So, as far as her scripting, we're going to have her cast Twist Fate, Astral Shield. Flight doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anything. Strength of Giants is honestly pretty overkill, I think. Air Shield in case she gets smacked. But then, yeah, just attack, really. I want to go fight some cavemen. It's going to be 2 turns. I saved Scum too early. Oh, well. I'm pretty confident. We do need to get some people over to Newland to patrol for this whole storyline. But since I'm save scumming anyways, I think we want to figure out how well this goes. Okay. Well, you tell me. 0 deaths, and we killed 78 of 78, including a ghoul and a mound king. I'll take that, my friend. Sea dogs are attacking coastal settlements, led on their frenzied hunt by a proud Ick the Centaur. We found 2 water gems, and we lost 50 sea dogs. Apparently I can go there in 1 round. That's good. It's along a road, I suppose. Jadros. Jadros can't handle too many. Okay, then let's give you half and half. Perfect. Wow. I really did that perfectly. Okay, so the basic then... Oh, he can't even do fucking line formations. You ain't leading shit. You ain't leading shit for dick. Dentatus can at least do lines. Okay, you're just gonna fucking ferry troops to him then. That's it. Yeah, his maps are... the company should really just hire this guy, I think, to just do their maps. Maybe refine it a little bit, make it a little less sort of whimsical. And like... I don't know, so, like, you know, you look like this... These little tiny green smudges for trees, that could be improved a little bit. I mean, it's obviously an artistic choice, but... You know, I think it could be refined a little bit. But I just love how much... I don't know. It's so much more fun. And like, there's nice sea monsters here, and you have the hole, and it looks, you know, oh, so intimidating. And yeah, you know, there's just a lot of these little things. The base game... Yeah, the base game. Okay. So we can start making troops here as well, including bishops and acolytes and stuff. And maybe eventually I'll get a lab here. That would be cool. But right now, I suppose we just want to get Princeps and some Retiaris. Alright, fine. And we can get troops here, I suppose. Princeps. Not a whole lot. Plenty of those guys. Alright. Moving on. Okay, batter and... So this is Athena. This is her first showing. Will she die instantly against the cavemen? That is a lot of cavemen. But I can't wait to see Astral Shield do its thing. Air Shield, pointless. And I didn't set her to cast any other spells. Okay, there are definitely petrifications happening. There's some damage happening. I wonder what the order of operation... Do they check the paralysis first or the ethereal first? I think I want ethereal to be first, I suppose. Okay, she took some damage. She does have affliction resistance, thankfully. I believe that comes from having higher earth magic levels. But she did not get routed. Okay. I mean, this was, like, potentially the most dangerous test. That's why saves come. Because these guys could crack through pretty heavily. She's got 19 protection, got ethereal, the astral shield. It's all pretty strong. But they could still harm her as they did. But hey, that meant none of my normal troops had to go up against that and die. So, good job, Athena. Newland. Oof, fucking swept aside. We got a bottle of living water. Hey, for our assassin. Hey, we got a hero. Hasdrubal, the ambassador mage. I'm glad I don't have to save scum. See, I do it just because out of fear. Well, invulnerable 15, water 1, astral 1, death 3, nature 1. He is cold-blooded, which means you don't want to set him into any cold province to fight. But this guy could thug pretty damn well. Also, he has the ability to cast Moss Body for us, which is kind of extreme. I think if I have you do anything, it's going to be to check for sites there, and I think Athena's going to do the same thing. Fucking Oceania moved right in there. Solam is picking up territories left and right that I left aside. How did he skip right by Namor? It's called Namor. Of course you want it. Also, fucking clear out your backyard before going into your neighbor's backyard. How about that? How about that? Let's put that down as a rule. Not too pleased. So that was the whole story event, I guess. That was it. Let's go ahead and grab Fahm before someone else does. And probably, I think with our money, I think we should... Well, I think I should build labs, but I also think I should get provincial defense up. All right, let's have Dentatus go this way to grab Blue Coast, and then I'll build a fort at Blue Coast and Kark. We'll do both, and yeah, he won't expand. He's not going to attack me or anything like that. I can't imagine he would actually break the non-aggression pact when he's got so much trouble with Pelagia going on. But you never know with AI. And then for Jadros, is there any spots? Yeah, I guess. Got no troops, though, so I suppose just wait here for a moment. I could go to a castle, I suppose. I got money. Go to a castle. There's another throne here in the Royal Forest. Got a pretty nice amount of mages. And, they're not amazing, but if I can get some owl quills, of which I have 80 pearls. So I think we got to get construction 3 going. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do construction 3, then thaumaturgy, then evocation. It's really, it's a time-consuming process to get enchantment 5. But then, Hasdrubal will be able to just solo, and I'll get 5 of the Elder Augurs, and they'll just spam skeletons and stuff like that. That's the thought process. And... No, I was going to do provincial defense, yeah. We'll go to 11 on everything. I wish there was just one button that did that. Where's that mod? Increase all provincial defense to 11. Alright. Done and done. Karmas searched Urfel, found nothing. There's battle in Fahm. Oh, the illusionists! We lost again! Holy shit! Okay, then fuck FOM. Until I just get... Okay, I'm gonna watch this. How exact... It's like glamour shit, isn't it? Oh, they're all ethereal, and I didn't have magic weapons. And there's just so many of them. They're all ethereal. That is crazy tough. Okay, that's gonna be a job for when I have, like, all my Augur Elders spamming skeletons to overwhelm him. Or just go in there with massive amounts of troops. But okay, that blew. That definitely blew. Alright, back to Ermor. Fuck FOM forever. I mean, this place still is okay, I guess, for building troops. Could be better, could be worse. And obviously, Timeless Waste. Not so hot. We'll want to take Scantrast at the very least. Because that should be... Well, it's not worth many resources, but it has magic sites. And then, too bad we lost... We don't have Lupia, because that would have been nice for resources. Yeah, okay. You're going to search. Athena, you're going to search. How's the Dominion there? Okay, I think you're done preaching there. So we'll send you over to... Sure. Probably to build a temple there. Okay. I mean, as Dominion, we're doing okay on. It's very difficult. There's two different nations here in the water. Very difficult for us to break in there. Especially one of them's his capital. But so our land spread is doing fairly well. Not here. I mean, what do we think is happening here? Let's get a priest on this one. Where's my other priests? You go to here. Get a temple there and start preaching. Alright. Alright, Hasdrubal found a stone circle. Athena found nothing. Interesting. Wouldn't have guessed that. Alright, 26 of those bad boys, which means you should probably cast Divine Blessing twice. Make sure you catch all of them. And again, our blessing's not insane. So they're not going to take on whole armies or anything like that, but they can still sweep up all these militia and light infantry. They can get all this shit for us. So, but we're going to have Dentatus take on Blue Coast, because I'm confident there. Oh, you guys are no longer... whoops. You're going to go there. Okay with that strat, but you... no. They're kind of... I imagine you guys are faster. A little bit. That'll be fine. We'll get to the front and then... Yeah, okay. Alright, go to Blue Coast. Good. You are going to build a temple. Good. You are going to build a temple. Let's have Athena take on this shit. Hasdrubal, I'm not quite that confident in that, but this should have... Yeah, this will have many magic sites too. Why didn't I ever search there too? I'm an idiot. So idiot. Alright. And a couple turns, we'll have Enchantment 5. That'll be great. Might want to pivot then, just for now, to get these guys going. they'll be useful. Nothing in Newland, blah, blah, blah. Battle in Blue Coast. Let's watch. Okay, so there's the front line, hitting the front line. And then the, see, they don't really wrap around. I probably should set them on attack rear. They would have gone for the archers and just decimated them. Alright, we'll change that to rear for now. Well, that was obviously pretty easy. We did lose 1 Principe and 3 of the Retiaras. Surprising. I guess there were 64 of them. There's a lot of militia. 9 heavy infantry. Alright, and then let's watch Athena. She buffs up. Ooh, and venom arrows. But I got air shield. No problem, no problem, no problem. Still no problem. Get petrified. Get petrified. Got the fear aura. Yeah, fear aura. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Yeah. That is an expander at the moment, no doubt. She is pretty potent. Yeah, okay. Timeless Waste. Unrest up. Population down. Gold down. Castle and Green Harbor's completed. Micklin got fucking vanquished. Holy shit. I never even saw Micklin. That's rare. Search for magic sites. You're gonna go to Scantrast. Spread our love. I mean, who wouldn't want to worship Athena? She's walking around, she's badass, she's hot. I mean, what more do you want? Alright, we're gonna search here. Let's go ahead and take on 90 militia, light infantry, heavy infantry. And we are going to... We gotta get a priest over here, too. Okay, the unrest kind of went down there. Drop down. And then you're going to immediately build... Thankfully, right before Muspelheim could take it. Yep. I need a little cash money, guys. Give me money, please. Oh yeah, I was gonna preach here. Turmoil 2, Death 1. Get out of here with that shit. Alright. Alright, we found Mercury Pond. Athena also found nothing. Jeez. Look at that, 61 kills. Beautiful, no losses. That's what we like to see. A festival is held in the honor of Athena, Princess of Mountains. Everyone was celebrating. Faith has increased in the province. Dominion +3. Whew. Up to 8 strength there. You'll love to see it. Alright, she's gonna now go back. Hasdrubal. Hasdrubal probably could solo something if we wanted to try it. With his, invulnerability and Horde of Skeletons now. The only issue with Horde of Skeletons, obviously, is the fatigue cost. He has no reinvigoration, so he has no real quick way to dump fatigue. The best thing for him would be like just a bunch of communion batteries that would allow him to just spam it over and over. But outside of that, he doesn't really have a great way to spam. Yeah, unfortunately. And he can't cast that without a nature bump. All right. Yeah. I'm just gonna have him auto search for now, and then yeah, just search for the moment. All right, that's probably a throne 2 next to Tianchi. This was not their symbol, was it? This was early age Tianchi's symbol? I don't even remember. Thought it was always just like the red flag. I could become buddies with Muspelheim just to prevent any shenanigans. There's no reason not to do it, other than I guess it hurts my dominion if they refuse. But he's not gonna refuse. Let's look at our stats. Well, he does have the most provinces. I'm in 3rd place. I'm tied for 1st for forts. He's got the most income because he has the most provinces. He's got the most gem income. I'm in 3rd for research. 2nd for dominion. 3rd for army size. And 1st for ascension points. Okay. I mean, yeah, so I'm not topping the charts at the moment. Muspelheim is doing well. Must be relatively unopposed. Yeah, I could believe that. If he's all up in this region, Pelagia's just fucking around in here, and Oceania keeps spreading this way for some reason, and yeah, he might be unopposed. Relatively. Tianchi is here. I don't know where their capital is. I assume in here. So, you know, eventually they'll meet. Hard to say. Hard to say, hard to say, hard to say. I'm glad Oceania didn't get wiped out. Then Pelagia would be really a thorn in my side. Yep, another clean sweep of the tribals. Earth gems +2. Good, good. And then the last spot here. No. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You'll search. Good, good. Sure, build a temple. Building up quite a lot of troops in my garrison here. That is affecting my income, so they'd be better off out on the field somewhere. I think we probably should build another prefectus, or... Now, the legatus has 150 leadership. He can handle it. And we do have... Ooh, look at that. Livius. 2 fire, 2 astral, 2 death. Beautiful. That's a lot of options in combat. Even though he's mostly just going to spam Horde of Skeletons. Because Horde of Skeletons can't really hurt your own guys, you know? They're just... You flood the map with your own troops. It's just good. They're free. Okay. Hey, we got a non-aggression pact with Muspelheim. And we got Sanguine Swamp, no problem. Okay. I could expand beyond that, but it gets harder and harder to protect your borders, you know. So I'm probably comfortable enough. I think we're going to move back to Kark and build a fortress there. We could go into Lost Canyon range. Yeah, we're not going to get under Spring, so hopefully I can grab that quick. Agrippa! Boom. There's your fucking army right there. Let's ditch one of those for one of those. Whew. A little hefty. Okay. What do I actually want to take? Not much. For some reason, these two are not connected. But I think probably Agrippa could take the Illusion Mage finally, even though there will be a lot of losses. I could send a mage with him. Like, Livius, I'm saying. Unless we want to start getting into communions. I mean, there's no... I mean, we can. Oh, no, we don't. We don't have Thaumaturgy 1 yet. And also, there isn't any... I don't have enough spells. We gotta keep researching. Just go ahead. Okay, doing well on Dominion. I guess I could take Namor, but it's 123 income. Sure, go take Namor. So just you wait for a moment. Where the hell is your capital? We did get construction 3 though, which means I could have all of you guys. Oh, we can't do quills. Oh, is that Astral 2 for quills? Don't you tell me. It's air 1. Fuck, I thought it was an astral thing. But I don't have any air. I gotta get flamens going, so I need a lab built. Okay. This is resources 9, but I don't think that's a problem, right? These are only 1. So, build a lab right there. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Yeah, we need air for that, and that'll be a big bump. Because I do want to peel away a lot of my mages. Well, I want to research a lot of spells, but I also want to peel off a bunch of my mages from my armies. So, getting research boosts for all the mages that are staying behind is kind of big. Alright, Battle of Namor. Athena had no issues there. Good, good. Why don't you go ahead and search for sites while you're sitting there. And also, I'm going to bump that up. Spend some cash money. Good, good. You built a lab, so now at the lab, I also need a temple. Of course I do. We'll get there eventually. You can keep searching for sites. Okay, Tianchi is pretty close to my border. Yeah. Okay, after Evocation 3, then we might want to get into Conjuration. Does give Phoenix power for any of our level 2 fire mages, or, you know, when they're in a communion. There's also power of the spheres, +1 for all paths except blood and holy. That's pretty big. Also, Thaumaturgy, I think, has something. Or is it not Thaumaturgy? It might not be Thaumaturgy. Chapman? It's not Evocation. It's very possible I'll never find what I'm thinking of. There it is. Light of the Northern Star. So, +1 astral magic to the entire battlefield. Which I believe includes your enemies, but that's not that big of a concern. So, that's pretty nice for all our communions and everything. So that affects all your slaves as well, so it's good. So those two things are kind of nice. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's Conjuration. Yeah, Conjuration 4 would be not bad. But then if we go all the way to 5, we can contact Alar, so sure, go all the way to 5. Yeah. Misfortune +3 in the Timeless Waste. Awesome. It's gonna be a good omen or something in 3 months. And we got the Palisades in Blue Coast, which we will immediately upgrade to a fortress, because that increases the income there. We took Lost Canyon, so that's all fine. I don't care about anything beyond that, so go to Park. Athena searched there and found jack shit. So, I think we want to get her back to a lab so she can start making... She is air, so she can make the quills. That's correct. There's TN Cheese Capital. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to really extend any farther than this. It's fine. Okay. Alright, I think I gotta end the video. Pretty sure I gotta end the video. That's some good recruitment, boy. Good recruitment, man. Boy, howdy, we are getting some troops. Not that. These guys. Ooh, boy. Very few recruitment points there. Yeah, all is pretty well. I think these can actually be upgraded again, right? Yeah, to castles. So we should probably do that at some point. But also my priests, you need to get there. Good. Okay. Good. And we got Ankus. Oh, Ankus also can make quills. But I need air gems, and I don't have any air gems, so I think we're going to do a little alchemy. Yeah, we get a lot of astral pearls, so I think that's fine. So you're going to be foraging monthly this quill for a while, until I look and see. Well, you won't be able to make infinite of them, so it's fine. That's where I want all my air gems to go. Actually, probably once Athena goes there, I'll have her maybe make some stuff for our prophet. We lost 4 Retiariuses, but they killed 46. Oh, we gotta watch this. I want to see their DPS at work. Look at that stand. This is so badass, man. Do you think about the Roman Empire every day? Oh, man, shredded the heavy calves. Shredded. They went straight for the light cab. Yep. Death. So I think they really just died to the heavy cab charge, which, yeah, not much stands against that these days. There's an assassination attempt on Cestius, our bishop, who killed the giant rat. What causes that? What is the giant rat assassination? I gotta Google this. I don't know. No one knows. If you know why that occurs, or if it's just some random thing that can happen. Is someone sending me giant rats? Is that some faction? I don't. It wouldn't be Pelagia. I know it's not TNG. So, I have no idea. All right, so yeah, she can make stuff for our prophet to be a big thug master. She could make the Shield of Valor, which is not bad. If we had more Earth gems, she can make the Shield of Meteoric Iron. Interesting. I didn't realize... Oh, it can't be used by mounted troops, but this increases a mage's... This auto-cast power of the spheres. Just for the caster. But he'd have to wear this shit, which is big encumbrance. So, unless you really need a boost in combat, that's not really worth the fatigue costs. Probably just the weightless kite shield is pretty good for him. It's not as protective, but it maintains like very nice defense, nice encumbrance. And he can't wear the tower shield, so I'd probably say this, but it's... Yeah, hard to say. I think we'd rather get him the Mace of Eruption, so I don't think we actually want her to make him a weapon. Probably Black Steel Helm for a helmet. And then, actually, it's a good... So he's got protection 19 on helmet. He's only got 12 on armor, so he definitely needs better armor. He's going to want a better shield. The helmet, though, it's not the end of the world. That would be low on the priority. So definitely shield, definitely armor, and probably just doing black steel plates. Yeah, probably black steel plate. Boots of giant strength are pretty good. Missile protection's not bad. The brace protection not bad. Affliction resistance not bad. Stone bird is not bad. Strike up 8 times per round, doing 9 magic damage. Does give him another additional magic option that they're lacking. Okay, I could see doing Stone Bird and maybe just the Rabbit Foot Charm. Just because I don't have many Earth Gems, unfortunately. And then Black Steel Barding for the mount, for the horse. So that's where we want Earth Gems to go. Okay, just make Rabbit Foot Charm for the moment. Actually, anybody can make that, right? Any Astral can make that. So... make the helmet. You can make Mace of Eruption. $17.7 parry. 16.4 parry. Not a massive upgrade, but it is an upgrade nonetheless. Okay. And then there's fire plates. It's not super protective. Burning Pearl is really good. We want to make him more offensive, but he's got his whole squad. He's not a solo thug. We're not kidding him out like that. I just want him to be on the front line with his guys. So, oh, also we can start making fire in a jar. Yeah, just do that. Okay, for now that's fine. I gotta end the video. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, all right. I gotta stop. I gotta fucking stop. All right. Yeah, Dominions. Ugh, ooh, so good. So, I don't have much to complain about currently as far as our progress. Things are going to get a little tricky as far as getting thrones, because I don't know the state of Pronda up here. I think we said that was the 3. So I think we do want to eventually... Well, we should get a scout on the Royal Forest. If this is a 2, then that's worth going to war with Pelagia for. We're not at war currently, even though he sent me back the head of my messenger, which is, you know, usually a pretty clear message, but okay. So, if that's a 2, then I think between some of my mages and, like, my prophet army and maybe Agrippa's army, like, we should be able to take a 2 pretty easily. And then at that point, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's mostly just going to be like a magic research thing. But I do have currently 2 guys that can pump out hordes of skeletons. If we can get that up to 5, doing the 5 or the 3 throne shouldn't be that wild. The rest of the communion, that's mostly going to be if we get up some cool fire magic. And that's really just for, like, because I want to, I guess. Because I want to. I mean, there's some good astral stuff in there, right? Astral Geyser. Horror marks, armor negating, and big, wide, small damage that they could spam. I don't know, it's something. This is much better. Stellar Cascade, area effects 7, 25 fatigue damage, armor piercing. That, at the start of a battle, could really swing the tide pretty nice. Also, in a big enough communion, they could cast Astral Fires, too. Look at that. The only fire that will burn underwater. Difficult to negate with magic resistance, armor negating. So, very small area effects, but pretty low fatigue cost, very accurate, good range, good casting time. Honestly, yeah, that's probably what we want. So that's evocation 6. That's what we'll want. And then to get up to these guys up to Astral 4, well, there's that 1 buff that they can cast that'll bump them all up to Astral 2. So then they just need to have 4 slaves involved, and that will that'll bump all the masters up to 4. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. All right, enough talk. Jesus. My name is Mangg. This has been Dominion 6 with Early Age Ermor, and I'll see you fine folks in the next part.